Roll Over DJ by Jet on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Alright, Karl?
Yeah.
Bit miserable today, Karl. Let me explain why.
Go on.
Steve, and to you, the listeners. Well, we came in to a big bunch of stuff. Dropped off fights. Was it Becky from Marks and Spencer? Just like lovely stuff. Food, presents for the cat, books, just, you know, to Ricky and Steve. Ricky and Steve who do the show, right? Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant.
GQ presenters of the year.
Creators of The Office, right?
Award winning.
Carl's looking over, I go, well, maybe, it's not for you, no. And then he told me why he's grumpy anyway.
Go on.
Do you know what XFM are giving everyone? How long have you been here?
About 6 years.
What are you getting for Christmas from XFM?
2 CDs.
Is that of your choice, or do they choose them?
There's a list of about 30.
Right.
Tell him what you chose.
30 CDs. I've gone for Kings of Leon album.
Yeah.
And the Best of Bob Marley.
Haven't we, like, given them away in the past, or something? Or you could have burnt them off, couldn't you? You could have done copies. Illegal, but you could have done that. Anytime you wanted.
I don't think Bob Marley minds if you
No.
bootleg his CDs.
It's out of order though, isn't it?
It is bad.
Although you
Is
do
that
get...
always the case? Has it always been the truth of all the time you've been here?
No, it has been better than this.
Yeah, although you do get paid quite well and you do have an easier time.
Yeah, but don't give me the CDs then. If it was a milkman, you don't go, I have 2 bottles of semi-skimmed. Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
That is a valid point.
Do you know what I mean?
You complain. Who is it who made this decision? Is
There's
it-
no point. No point, is there?
Why?
Just no point. I don't like moaning anyway, just...
Has it come from up top? Is it like from the capital people?
Just everyone, that's what everyone gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but will Christian get 2 CDs for getting up at 4:30 every day for about 5 years?
And keeping this station afloat.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm a bit fed up.
What you listen to first, Marley or Leon?
Well, you have a bit of Marley.
I'll tell you what Marley's good for, as well. You'll have a little beach holiday, aren't you, over Christmas, going to Lanzarote? Listening to that on the beach, you'll realise how wise XFM are in the long run. You know, you go, well, look, they could have given me 400 quid, right? Well, I'd have spent that. But this is, you know, the legend lives
The gift
on.
that keeps on giving.
So, you'll probably, you know what I mean? Think how much what you got to think of is how much all his great songs took, not only from the depth of his soul and, you know, all his sort of angst and knowledge and love, and then all the studio time, the marketing, and they're just giving you one that. They go, don't worry about that, Carl, just have it. And you go, what? All the time we spent with Bob Marley and everything is there. You have it, Carl, have it, Carl. And
Gratis.
yeah, have that. Thanks, well done. Carry on. We're still going to pay you for the work.
Yeah.
That's just something on top.
Here's a little piece of Bob, free.
Yeah, so don't moan, it's extra. So, I didn't have to give you it at all. Play a record, you ungrateful little swine.
Some people, like the homeless, aren't getting anything this Christmas.
This is my
Except to
favourite
chill.
Elvis Costello track of all time. It's Alison.
This wasn't on the list. Right.
Elvis Costello, Alison on XFM 104.9. So, that's it. Well, maybe, I'll tell you what, a good idea, Carl, just beg, just ask for other things. What do you want? What do you want for Christmas? You must have a big fan base out there willing to make you things. Maybe like a little, I don't know, pair of gloves.
A little woolly hat.
If you want to send a necklace in for Suzanne, that'd be handy.
Oh yeah.
That's what she wants.
Is Suzanne listening today?
No, she's out.
Right, okay, this is the dilemma. Me and Steve, yesterday, were trying to convince Carl that it would be a good idea to buy Suzanne a Christmas present. Okay? Now, why aren't you going to buy her a Christmas present? Explain, Carl, why you don't think you should buy her a Christmas present.
No, I've told her I'll get her one, but in the new year. We're going away on holiday and that, so there's no point taking stuff away.
Yeah.
Going to Lanzarote next week.
Just get something in the sales after Christmas for this, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now, me and Steve were trying to explain to Carl that she would love it if you bought her something on Christmas Day.
Yeah, but she knows now.
But,
Knows
yeah.
what?
I've told her. So
No,
she's
well, I'm
getting
going
out.
to tell you, right, this, dear listener, this was Carl's worry. I said, I bet she's got you something. and Karl was worried in case he got her something and she hadn't got him something.
Yeah. He'd be livid.
He didn't want to be down. He didn't want to be a present down.
Yeah.
Look at his face! So buy her a nice necklace. Don't spend, just spend £100, you know, just a little token.
We're going away. I'm taking her away on holiday.
No, you're not taking her away, are you? What, you're paying for it, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Well, half and half and that.
Right.
So you're paying for you to go on holiday? That's good of you. So the gift is your company, really?
She's done alright.
She's done alright!
Why do you talk like you're 60 years old? And you've been working down the mine.
I love that she's done alright. Do you go over to her and say, Suzanne, you're bloody lucky.
I mean...
You've fallen on your feet.
To
Look
be
who
fair,
you've
Rick,
got. What?
I'm not sure she has done alright. I don't want to be critical, but...
Oh, dear.
So what are you going to get in the sales?
What are you going to get her?
Yeah, it depends. I'm thinking... I mean, I'll give her the choice. She can have Kingsley and or Bob Marley. Right, I'll let her decide there.
Oh, dear. 3 holidays Karl's had this year. Last year.
Yeah.
I'd love to have 3 holidays. You've got to start putting the work in
I
there.
had 2 holidays
No,
there.
you had 3 holidays. You went away with Suzanne and her parents.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count.
It does count. If you book 2 weeks off the firm, you go away and you go, how was your holiday? Go, well, I didn't really count. It wasn't a really good holiday. Can I have them days back, please? My New Year's resolution is to be nicer to you, but
Well
talk
done,
sense.
you've already broken that.
No, but talk sense. Talk sense. You've had 3 holidays this year, and I'm just saying, you're in your 30s now, and 30s is when you should be really putting the work in.
That's true enough.
To reap the benefits in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100.
Karl, what's your New Year resolution? What about think before you speak? It's worth... I mean,
See, I'm
consider
allowed
it.
to laugh. I'm allowed to laugh at things other people say, Karl. That one, that is a good suggestion. How was your holiday, Karl?
It was alright.
Right, brilliant.
But that, I don't see, on the kind of, on the ratio of good to bad in Karl's mind, that might be amazing, because we never
It might be
hear him
amazing,
sing the
mightn't
praises
it?
of anything.
I'll tell you what, can we have, a cracking little tune, and then come back and hear about Karl's holiday?
I'd love to do that.
Let's keep it tight. Blur, out of time on XFM. Well, we're not out of time, we've still got an hour left, boys.
Hey!
Luckily.
Brilliant. A lot of emails, obviously, about the Chinese, people as fascinated as we are. I don't want to discuss it, interminably, Rick, because there's so much to say, and we've said most of it in the past.
Yeah.
Get a couple of emails. In fact, I think, Karl, you told us this information. Remind me of it again. If all the Chinese people in the world were...
We're in a line on that, because there's loads of them, you'd never get to the end of it.
Right.
No, it's not that.
It is
It's
that.
no. If all the Chinese people formed a line and started walking out of China, you'd never get to the end of it.
That's what I just said.
No, it's because though,
Yeah, but
they'd be having babies. You know what I mean? Still, it'd be adding to it all the time, wouldn't you?
But would they be walking and shagging and having babies as they're walking out?
Yeah, that is.
I'd love to see someone organise that. Maybe the Record Breakers team.
I tell you what, I'd love to see Ross McWhirter or Norris, who is it? Who's the one that's alive?
I forget, Norris, I think.
Norris, right? I'd love to see him to coordinate that.
Yeah.
1.2 billion little Chinese fellas, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl.
And where are they walking out of China? Which exit are they taking?
They're taking the.
Through Tibet? Or
I think it's the. Gate 9 Slip Road, the M43,
Right.
to St Petersburg,
Right.
And they go, and walking, and shagging.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because some presumably are dying as they're leaving.
No, but they live to 120.
That's true.
So
they claim.
Well, we know Karl's theory on that. Do you want to just tell new listeners your theory about
leave
when
it.
when all these Chinese people get the records for oldest people in the world? Come on, what's your theory, Karl?
Leave it.
Karl,
Just that they're probably lying.
Why?
That's all. Because a lot of them don't age that well. Some of them do. A lot of them don't, and they always look older than they are. I read the other day, right? Do you know the one who was the oldest woman in the world, right? Chinese woman, right? The way she did it, it was.
She didn't die. That was her secret. What she did, she got up every day and didn't die.
No, she was like awake and that, and then she'd have 2 days just sleeping.
Right.
So she wasn't really that old.
What do you mean?
Well, she'd only sort of lived half of her life in a way.
Well, we
So
all
she's only
live
70 odd.
2/3 of our life, don't we?
No, but she was like awake and that, and then she'd go, oh, I'll go to bed. And then that'd be it for 2 days.
It's that time again. Do the jingle.
Oh, monkey, you! Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna do a really good one.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news, yeah.
Right, do you know it's nearly time for the Winter Olympics again?
Okay. Is it? Okay.
They sort of come round every 4 years.
Is it this year? Is it?
Yeah. And the last one that happened,
4 years ago, yeah.
there was a bit of an incident.
Oh, no.
Oh well, I'd know about this then because it would be
Well, it'd be
Well-
big news because it's a well-known...
televised as well.
Yeah.
It's,
Do you remember any winners that were monkeys? In any of the
No,
tournaments?
of course
no,
not.
No.
So,
Yeah.
it's
So
not
anyway-
going to be that because it wouldn't be true. Go
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So anyway, one of the popular events, bobsleigh.
Okay, right.
You know how it works.
Well,
It's
you
like
need
a
4
sleigh.
men. Is it 4 men or 5
4
men?
men,
It's
yeah.
4. So it's definitely 4 men that you need
Needs
on a
4
bobsleigh
men.
team.
Is it and two and there's 2 team bobsleigh as
But
well.
they're always men. Is that right, Rick?
well, yeah, they have to be.
Anyway, so
humans.
Well, that's be humans. Yeah, it's the Winter Olympics for.
Yeah. So just clarify. With the Winter Olympics, you can't have any animals taking part.
No, and they also no, because they wouldn't be allowed. And 2, there's no way they could disguise it because not only would they see it straight away, right, but they have blood tests
Right. Okay. So
which would show up.
So they definitely know if it was
But they have blood
anything
tests.
non-human.
It's impossible. It would be literally impossible to have anything other than a human
Taking
involved
part.
in a bobsleigh team.
Fine. Okay. So carry on.
So anyway, this country, I don't want to name them because they try to shake off this sort of, this bad news.
Oh yeah, and you don't know.
And
Because
it
it's not
didn't
true. Yeah.
So anyway, the country was doing really well in the qualifying stages.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem was there was like 2 members
Mm.
who were getting all like the press and stuff,
Oh right, yeah.
and one of them never got a look in. Right.
How tall was he?
Anyway, so this one member was getting fed up because the other 2 were getting all the press and what have you. So he said, I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
I'm jacking it in. So they were like, you're joking, we've qualified, we're getting into like the main race and everything. You can't leave us now. And he said, well, you could do it all on your own before, the way you were acting and that, you didn't
Yeah.
need me, so I'm going. So they were like, oh.
Well, they need to replace him because there's a certain amount of people needed.
So anyway, so the clock's ticking, it's getting close to the big race and
Of
everything.
course it is. Yeah.
They're like, what are we going to do here?
Substitute
Right?
they took with them.
What are they
Well,
going
they
to
must
do?
have.
Yeah, they would take the substitute. So get him
No,
on.
they didn't have any of them and that. It's,
What?
a lot of injuries and stuff.
Or just get a mate to do it. Just get a mate or a friend
Yeah,
or the coach to do it. Yeah.
But, there's a lot of responsibility on these people and, you won't want to let your country down and that. And they're like, what are we going to do?
Get a waiter or anyone. in the
Anyway,
hotel.
the time comes for the race. Seems to be 3 people on it.
There appears to be 3. Okay. Yeah.
They start off, they're whizzing around the track faster than normal. They're beating their old records
Right. Amazing.
because the new fella they've got a little bit smaller.
Ah,
Right?
is he in?
So
Is he in the bobsleigh? Or is he pushing?
He's in it.
Oh, right, okay.
Right?
He's wearing a uniform and a helmet. That we
He's
can't
got
see what he
helmet
looks like.
on.
We
He's
can't
got
see
the
his
kit
face.
on.
Can't see his face.
Nobody knows who he is, but the
course they do.
country's loving it.
Of course they
They're
do.
like, well, it looks like we're going to break all our records. Good. It's good that they found someone new.
Yeah.
Bet the other fella who left, he's sort of kicking himself, thinking, oh, I could have been part of this. Anyway,
This wasn't a bloke that had very short legs and long arms, was it?
what happened is they're whizzing round the track and what have you,
Faster than ever. Yeah.
faster than ever, and the press are like going, beating all records here. They started taking photographs. A lot of flashing. A lot of flashes from the cameras and stuff.
Right. Of course.
Suddenly, the bobsleigh goes a bit sort of mental and whizzes off the track, right, into like all the tyres and stuff that they have for protective.
Oh, they love tyres, don't they? Bobsleigh members. Some of them sometimes you can find them swinging in one, or maybe eating a banana.
Ambulance comes rushing over and stuff. The other 2 members are looking pretty nervous for some reason.
Oh, what are they doing?
They're saying, look, don't take the helmet off because, you can do more damage to the
Well,
neck.
don't tell the paramedics how to do it.
They know their job.
Yeah,
They know their
yeah,
job.
yeah.
So they were
Please.
like, just and plus, he came in at last minute to help us out. He doesn't want everyone to know who he is. He's
Yeah.
not after the limelight
Yeah.
like some of the members we used to have. But he just
Yeah.
was helping his country out.
Yeah.
Leave the helmet on. Anyway, they get him in the ambulance and stuff. The other 2 are looking a bit worried and what have you. They're gutted. They lost the race.
The little bloke, is the bloke not saying anything? Is he not?
He's in the ambulance now.
Is he not saying anything though?
Anyway, word got out, right, from one of the ambulance drivers a few weeks down the line, once all the dust had settled on the Olympics and stuff, and light news day and stuff.
Yeah.
It was reported that one of the ambulance drivers said that on that sort of dreadful night, when the country lost out on a medal in the bobsleigh, he sort of reported that there was a monkey in the back of the ambulance. people were like going, you're
I
joking,
don't
aren't
remember
you?
this. I don't remember this at all.
Well, this is it, you see, because they sort of swept it under the carpet a little bit.
right.
They were like, this is crazy talk.
It's all
This is
shit
crazy
again.
talk.
Once talk, absolute shit. Where'd you get this from?
This is crazy talk, right?
It is
But-
crazy talk, and it's from the mouth of Karl Pilkington.
But the weird thing is that backed it up. Following week, there was a story of some people who visited the zoo saw a chimp in a neck brace. And that's this week's Monkey News.
Bollocks.
But we're gonna do something that we used to do on our local radio show called Rockbusters. Sounds a bit like Blockbusters, a television programme that used to be on television where they gave sort of real cryptic clues. Yours aren't cryptic clues, yours are ridiculous. So explain Rockbusters.
Give out an initial of a artist or a band
Yeah.
that are knocking about like now or ages ago, and I give a cryptic clue.
Not a cryptic clue. Very rarely cryptic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's nonsense, but
Well, as we once said, I think it is more accurately described a craptic clue.
yeah.
Well,
Or what am I thinking?
are you going to give an example, or will we just do them?
The classic example, of course, for me is a woman. She's an artist. The initials are WH. She was wandering around
Texas.
in Texas. She fell over. A part of her leg fell in a puddle. Wet knee, Houston.
That is the level.
That's what you're working with, people.
So he's going to give 3 of these. The first email that gets them all right, the first email we get, and it's timed, isn't it, emails, so we can know, that gets all these clues exactly right, can win, what, a signed photo of Karl?
Now that is exclusive. There are not very many. I don't think they even exist, do they? There are no signed photos of Karl. So this will be a collector's item.
Right. So, there's 3 different ones. When you send it in on email, podcast@rickygervais.com, just put in the subject thing like Rockbusters, so I know what I'm looking for.
Mm.
Right then, so three different clues for you to work on. First one.
Oh, shouldn't I do a jingle for this?
Please.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds cryptic, Night Rockington!
Rockbusters.
Right, first one, the initial, right, is B.
The initial B. Band
B,
or artist.
So, band or an artist beginning with the letter B.
Mm-hmm.
The cryptic clue. Well, I don't want a house that's that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it. Right? That's the cryptic clue. Well, I don't want a house that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it. Right? B. Artist or band. Who is it? Right? Work on that one. Second one. It's B again. B. Letter B for the band or the artist.
Alright.
Cryptic clue. Right? That part of my leg is English.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
That part of my leg is English. Initial B. What is it? Part of my leg is English. And then the last one, KW, artist or band, and the cryptic clue, the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment. What's going on there? Right, KW, the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment. Work on them, right? Send in the answers, podcast@rickygervais.com, and just win some signed picture and that. Right, so last week's clues, there was 3 of them. I give you initial of a artist or a band, and a cryptic clue.
Yeah.
You work it out, you email it in, you win a signed picture and that. First one was, well, I don't want a house that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it.
Go on.
Right, so that was B.
Yeah.
That's, that was Beyonce. Beyonce. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a cryptic thing. You got that? Second one.
I'd stand. Beyonce.
Beyonce.
That
Beyonce.
part of my leg is English. The initial was B. That was Britney. Right?
Britney.
Yeah, so it's like British. Britney.
But so you're just taking the one half of her name, are you now?
Well, she's known as that now.
Mm.
I think she's known
I don't
more
know who
as,
she is,
more
but
as,
fine.
more as Britney than
Okay.
Britney Spears. They don't really call her that anymore.
Yeah.
Also, British isn't the same as English.
Yeah, I know. I realised that, but it was too late.
Brilliant. That's what you're up against.
Just like that, Ollie wants to be a millionaire.
The last one was the initials were KW,
Yeah.
and the clue was the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment, right? So you've got to sort of think about that. You've got
Yeah.
to think about a fitness teacher
Yeah.
he's working out and that.
Yeah.
But he's got a speech impediment, so when it like comes to like
Well, no,
finishing,
you didn't say all this in the clue. So.
but it was just that one was Kanye West, right?
Kanye West.
So I'm just saying,
Why
like,
would
you
a
know,
fitness teacher say Kanye West?
because he's got a speech impediment and he's been working them out. They've built up a sweat, and he's like, right.
Well, no, you
everyone-
didn't say all that, so it doesn't matter.
But anyway, but even if that is the case,
So
what
it's
is he saying?
He's saying, all right, can we rest now?
As in, can we rest now?
Yeah, just kind of because they say that at the end. It's like, right, everybody.
So he's got a speech impediment, he's very, very camp, and he's adding words. Okay, but apart from that, it works perfectly.
So
That is bollocks, you're an idiot.
so that was the first three.
Who
and,
won?
What should we do next? What should we do next?
It's too much.
We do we need them out of the way?
Yeah, do we need them out of the
Conquest.
way?
Yeah, just
Let's explain it again.
if you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out. You know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff. Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet,
Yeah,
right? And finding out if we need them or not, right?
yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
Well, sea snails,
Well, yeah.
snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. Know a bit about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What sort of sense do you mean by important?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it, right?
Right.
Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating the
Right.
stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones,
Mm.
but that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't know
No?
that.
Bet you're glad you answered the phone today. Right? They love beer,
Beer, yeah, who doesn't?
and also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right. I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not, but I mean, sea snails are pretty important. Yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae, and
But
they provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish, you know, or any animal. Why do they exist?
would you be upset if, you know, someone said, we're getting rid of them?
Oh yeah.
You would be?
They're an animal, you know. I wouldn't.
Forget being like favouritism and all that I get for them, right? There'll be
Yeah.
other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job, don't be worrying about that, because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Well, who's saying we need to? That just sounds a bit crazy to me.
Just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you work in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice,
Right.
and you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked my advice, and I'm giving it to them. So, you know, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, you know, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, you know. What do they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around. Their descendants were around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages...
I think that sounds a bit... I don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So, snails, do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got to... Just as, you know, it's not for us to say, do we need them or not, we can't.
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Carl, I'm proud of you. That
He
was...
was getting really quite annoyed.
I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just
Well,
don't say
the
that.
thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he could look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He was getting livid, you could...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a question. I was discussing this yesterday. This is not a bit of shit. This is not a joke. I genuinely have always been slightly perplexed, and we were discussing it last night. The notion of the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean, the birds and the bees. I understand how.
Why they use the birds and the bees?
Yeah, because you see, I always, as a child, I assumed the bees were having some kind of relations with the birds.
No.
So is there anything to do with the birds and the bees, or is it literally, just like a euphemism? It's just the birds and the bees.
No, but they
Do the birds do anything with the bees?
No, not at all. It was
Do
where
they just take them out? They
it was where
schmooze them?
parents used to sidestep the issue by saying things like, when a lady blackbird and a man blackbird, they meet, right? They make a little nest, and then because they're in love, they have an egg.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I understand that. That makes sense. But why the bees? Why the birds and the bees?
Well, probably, I don't know.
I don't know. You see, within nature, forgive my ignorance, within nature there is no relationship between bees and birds, is there?
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Nothing's going on.
But probably what it was, if the parent found it hard to say, Daddy puts his penis at Mummy's vagina, it was much easier to say, like in the insect world, billions of them queue up and just fill the queen with spunk for about a day.
Sure.
Thus avoiding the embarrassing intercourse.
Exactly.
That's what I think, Carl. What do you think?
Were you talk about the birds and the bees? Did anyone bring that up with you?
No, it was just in that class, wasn't it? When they put a video on.
That's what we had. No, we had a film.
And they just said, I watched that, and then...
what film, though? Basic Instinct?
It was just like, two people, and all sat round the telly and watched it. One girl fainted. And they said, right, that's that. Next week, prisms, or whatever.
And did it teach you everything you needed to know?
Well, how much do you need to know?
Yeah, true. No, true. Except one kid in my class still thought a baby came out of an arse. Afterwards he didn't understand.
I think what they should have shown on those videos is technique as much as anything.
Yeah, I suppose so,
Because it was largely just instructional.
Wooing. Wooing.
What he didn't tell you was how to get into a position where this might be of some interest. That should have been the first 4 weeks of the course.
Yeah, well obviously that baby who had the kid who had a baby, what was going on there, Carl?
That was weird. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was going to be your favourite programme, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't that good in the end.
Why?
You told us about this story ages ago, didn't you?
Ages ago. I told you about a year ago about a baby that had a baby.
Yeah, it's a bit different, the baby that had a baby, isn't it? Whereas a Siamese twin with a breach actually just, developed inside him for, it wasn't even developing. It was a twin stillborn that just was enveloped in the other one's body. So it's a little bit different to a baby what had a baby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually disappointed he was. Do you know what he said to me? He went, well, I thought it was going to come out. And go, oh, bloody hell, I'm 7. What a waste of my life. Like he'd been in there going, oh, hello? Hello? 7? Idiot.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. But there was a programme on after that, right? At 10 o'clock on Discovery, and I haven't got Discovery.
Oh, right.
It was about... Oh, I didn't see it. This is it. I was
yeah.
going to say to people, if they've got a copy of it on tape, if they can send it in.
What was it?
About a baby with 4 legs.
Right.
That was on at 10 on...
It wasn't a puppy?
No.
Right.
Just,
What's it doing up there?
Yeah.
It's my baby. Oh, is it, Mum? All right, then,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Oh, it's got 4 legs, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do have
Look,
4 legs.
Dad's gone, he's never coming back, you've got to get over it.
so, if anyone's
It's not
got
a baby.
that, send it in.
Oh,
Right,
dear.
okay,
Send it in.
good.
So you want to take with a baby with 4 legs. You're going to be disappointed again. It's not going to be like a baby with 4 legs who's running up the curtains. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that. It's probably going to be 2 legs and then 2 sort of like floppy appendages. You know what I mean? It's not. They're not going to be brilliant. It's not going to be like Jake the Peg. You're going to be disappointed. Long and Winding Road. I love that, but I don't like the way McCartney sings here. There's just one, he goes, you leave me waiting here.
Well, he's always got that slightly affected.
But it sounds
style,
like
doesn't it?
Richard Burton or something, here.
Yeah.
But it's only one that does it, but I don't know why. I just think he likes it or wants to go back and change it. Maybe it's like... But having said that, you know, I'm not taking away from the Beatles, one of the best bands ever.
Well, yeah, good luck to
Brilliant songwriters.
Oh, they do well.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of emails, Carl. I don't want to sort of put a dampener on your Christmas, but a lot of people have been slagging off Lanzarote. One of them just said, well, one of them, I don't know if I can find
It is Canaria, isn't it? It's one of the Canaries, isn't it?
It's a volcanic island covered in volcanic dust. It's very windy, so you have to dig a hole to sit in on the beach, and there's hardly anything to do. That's from Mike Godham, and he says, unless you like quad biking, well, you know, you've seen what happened to...
No, don't go quad biking. Not with your little head. There's no protection at all, is there?
I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know.
At least Rick Mann and Ozzy had lots of hair. You'd be like Humpty Dumpty. It would crack like a little egg. And then we'd seen, there's no kings or kings horses.
Yeah, well, they couldn't do the job anyway.
No, we shouldn't really send them. They're not really qualified.
Horses not equipped to put back
a medical man like Neil Fox in.
Yes.
To mend
but not
eggs.
some kind of military horse.
I bet he's had the egg on his face a few times, hasn't he?
What, Foxy?
Yeah.
Most of the series are Pop Idol.
Right, Carl. Lanzarote. Good or bad?
Well, you got to give it a go, haven't you?
Yeah, well done.
Give everywhere a go.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. You know, don't just take the word for it. I mean, if it had said an Alanova, Lanzarote shit, he'd have believed it.
Sure.
You know, if he'd have overheard it in a pub,
Yeah.
Lanzarote a crap, he'd have believed it. If he'd have seen it on a website that was mainly concerned with monkeys and witches, he'd have believed it.
Yeah.
As it is.
Everybody raves about New York, and when I went there, I thought it was rubbish.
Well, you're an idiot then, because that is
Subjective,
possibly
though,
the
innit?
greatest city in the world, along with London.
Subjective, though. That's why they have holiday programmes and that, innit? So you see it and you decide for yourself and that.
Yeah, but you saw Venice on a holiday programme, as you put it. You went there and you went, it was rubbish, full of black bin liners.
Well, it is.
Right. Didn't they show them?
It stunk.
Didn't Judith Chalmers say that? Oh, it stinks here, and there's loads of rubbish everywhere.
No, she didn't.
Did she mention that?
Oh, that's what I mean. So it depends what you want from holiday, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. But
So...
you're an idiot if you don't like New York, so next.
Anyway, come on, break up, guys. Kiss and make up.
No Blue Sky, The Thorns. That's beautiful, isn't it? On XFM 104.9. Carl, you're losing your rag a little bit. What's the matter?
Nothing, go on. See?
What's the matter? No, what's the matter,
I've
Carl?
got something to cheer him up. Someone's emailed in, Emma's emailed in, she said that, for those that know, those in the know, they referred to Lanzarote as Lanzagrotte.
Brilliant.
He's a bit fed up. He's got 2 CDs for Christmas from a company that's he's been with for 6 years. He's a little bit grumpy about having to answer the phones. He wouldn't go and make Steve another cup of tea immediately.
Selfish.
Yeah. Carl, what are you thinking? Snow Patrol and Run on XFM. Wow. Nearly your last show, Carl, for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Carl's off to Lanzarote. Next week. We're doing it with Ian Canfield next Saturday. Then we're off, because it's day after Boxing Day, isn't it? Or 20, yeah. And then we're back on the 3rd, I think, aren't we, all together?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, what have you got? I think we should have done something like some roundups, like Cheeky Freak of the Week. We could have done Cheeky Freak of the Year. What's your Freak of the Year, Carl, if I put it to you?
What, out of all the ones that I found out about?
Yeah, all the ones that have ever been, yeah. Well, no, you have the Elephant Man in there that you found out about at the end of the 19th century. Go on.
Watched The Elephant Man again last week.
Good.
Yeah, loved it. Probably that one, the kid who was like 7, but aged to about 38. That was pretty weird. That amazed me. That sort of blew my mind.
No, it was worse than that. She was about 90 or something, wasn't she?
She is now. But back then...
Oh, a couple of months ago she was 38,
Yeah.
but because of the ageing...
She's sort of aged fast and that.
Yeah.
And it's really...
This is the one that you think should be allowed to get fags and beer and off licence because she's got the body of a 90-year-old.
Well, yeah, it's only fair, isn't it? Let her have a decent life.
Even though she's 6.
if she wants a packet of fags, the doctor said, you know, you're older than that. Even though you're 6, you are sort of 72. If she wants a packet of fags, let them have them.
She was 72 September, wasn't she? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was that's probably
Do you
the
actually
weirdest
think that would
thing.
be a good idea to give a 6-year-old with an Asian disease a packet of fags
If that's what they want, if that's what they want.
and a pint of Tennant's?
All the stress and that she goes through. It was saying something like how she has to have a passport picture done every 3 months or something. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
That's what she's dealing with. So that was probably the weirdest.
Can we just say that Karl doesn't take the mickey out of these freaks,
No.
these people?
I just, you know, it's things that fascinate me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Things like that are weird. And things that, I mean, there's certain things that people get excited about that I think, well, what are you getting excited for?
Like what?
News, just news. Do you know I normally do the headlines and that?
Yeah. Have we got any headlines?
Not really, because there isn't that much going on.
Isn't there?
This is what annoyed me, though. There was something about a woman who's going up Everest on a bike. Do you know what I mean? And they were like, oh, brilliant. But I don't think that's that good. When someone's done it walking...
Where
doing it
would,
on a bike's
the
easy,
woman?
isn't it?
Where would the woman who complained about you come in the years chart?
That's
do you mean?
yeah, that's the woman with the enormous head. Lest we forget. She took offence to some of the comments you made on the show, and rightly so.
I can,
Yeah,
I can
quite rightly
understand.
so, yeah.
I was out of order, and, you know, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll just explain again that Karl. I mean, it's the freak of the week is sort of like more of a punchy catchphrase than a derogatory term. And Karl's fascination and childlike. I mean, I think we'd have to include Karl in the roundup.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd certainly be in the top 10.
I think the fact that she didn't sort of pursue any official complaints means that, you know, she's a bigger person than you, Karl.
Yeah, really, because, you know...
Certainly, you know...
Well, you know, so...
headwise. She is. Karl, you're going to do some news
What do
stories,
you
I
want?
think.
Well, like I say, there hasn't been that much going on. There's a story about a fella who hasn't eaten for 70 years.
Right. He hasn't eaten. Is that all that's all the information you're going to give us?
Yeah, hasn't eaten for 70 years. Hasn't had a drink, but he's all right.
That's rubbish then. Next.
It's not rubbish.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Next.
Next. Well, what is it? How is that? How is a man not eaten or drunk for 70 years?
It's that thing, isn't it? Your belly gets used to it or something.
Steve, has he misinterpreted it or is it rubbish?
Well, it does, to be honest with you, it doesn't actually offer any explanation. It just says that that's what happened.
Right, so that's rubbish.
It doesn't go on to
Next.
anything else.
A woman's had 6 organs transplanted. Woman needed a new kidney, a new heart, a new stomach, a new liver, new kidney, intestine.
Does that mean that she's the same woman?
I know. You'd
Yeah.
just say forget it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, though?
Well, not really. You know, the organ is just a lump of tissue.
If you're that knackered, call it a day. I reckon don't waste time with that.
Yeah,
And
good
there's
advice.
there's a woman who hasn't slept for 8 years as well.
Well, that's impossible.
Again, you want to see that, Steve?
Yeah.
That's the news for the week.
Yeah, all rubbish.
Turn off now.
Next. Do you want to apologise once more for anyone you might have offended over the year?
Yeah,
That you-
like I say, I never upset anyone. We're
No,
just chatting about
it's
stuff
just
that's
chatting.
fascinates me.
It's from the heart. You see something, you say, "Oh, it looks a bit like so and so," or "Isn't it a bit?" You're not really, you know, you don't really try and hurt anyone's feelings, do you?
But I think most people know that.
And I mean, I've got to apologise for laughing at anything you say. I actually can't help it. Again, it's not vindictive, but when Karl comes out with some of the things he says, it's impossible for me not to laugh or react. So, have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Well, before that, Rick, is there some final, for the year, monkey news?
Tell you what, let's play a good song.
Okay.
Right, we'll have a bit of monkey news, and then that's it.
A bit of Amy Mann, then.
Perfect.
Brilliant, this one. I love the fact that he was fascinated by the strangest village in Britain, but the stories he told us about where he comes from, there's him going around with 2 fellas with big heads, webbed feet, a little pigeon-chested bloke, him on his grifter with Maggie pecking at him, his dad in the telephone box nicking groceries, and a horse in the house next door. I mean, how strange was his upbringing? And him hanging from his satchel. Unbelievable.
There's another woman who I remembered. Actually, I'll tell you later.
Go on, what?
No,
Another
I'll
one?
tell you later about another woman who I remembered.
What's give us a teaser.
It's just a woman who rode around on a 3-wheeled bike with her husband in a basket. I'll tell you that. Right, and the final clip.
teasers like that on the other radio
That's a hell of
station.
a funeral service.
Right, listen.
Right, tell us about this woman.
Well, it was just because you were saying about the, you know, our living.
We are broadcasting now, aren't we? This is actually going out, this is live. This isn't us sort of like...
Yeah,
sort
but
of-
you were just talking about how I lived in an odd village
Yeah.
with kids with big heads and all that, right? And what I wanted to do.
What is that again? There's two kids with big heads.
Yeah, they just had sort of big heads and webbed hands and that. They went to my school, and when I spoke to my dad the other day, because I'm going to see my mum and dad tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, "Oh, have we got any school photographs with the big-headed kids in?" And he said, "No, nobody bought those sort of school photos because they were in it, so it was always a bit ruined." But I said, "Well,
No!
no." He said sales were, you know, because he obviously talked to other dads and stuff like that, and he just said, "Oh, no one bought them." But anyway, so
I would love them!
Yeah.
That's why I'd buy them.
yeah, but I wouldn't stand out, would I? If it's
that's
on the
saying something.
mantelpiece.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, so I was talking about, you know,
When you say they had big heads, what do you mean? Do they look like someone from Doctor Who?
they were just quite big.
But they weren't related.
No.
So why did two blokes with big heads and webbed feet?
I lived in a weird area. There was a
Was
sort
there
of
a-
a chemical plant close by.
I can't believe you've never told us that before. That explains a lot. Not just the freaks in your neighbourhood, but
No,
well, yours truly.
there was loads of weird stuff going on. There was this, like I said, there was this woman who used to like live in one of the council flats, right? And she had a three-wheeled sort of big. What do you call it?
Son, three-wheeled son. He was the weirdest bloke we ever knew.
What do you call it? Like a big
Tricycle.
but for an adult rather than one for a kid. It was
Yeah.
a big
It
one.
wasn't a motorbike though. It was a
No, it was a
pedal
push bike thing.
Yeah.
And she used to sort of ride down the road with a fella sat in the basket on the back with his like legs dangling over, and they'd be going to like the pub and what have you.
Was it a different fella each time or the same one?
Yeah.
Little sort of bald-headed fella.
Sure it was in collection for like organs and things. Bring out your ill. And then people just throw Grandad just in the back and go, right, we get £4 for Grandad.
But she used
He's
to
got a
be
lovely
quite.
pair of testicles on him. They're very low, but they're
Bring out your dead or nearly dead.
She used to pick on her husband quite a lot. They'd be in the pub and what have you, and they'd be sat by themselves, but she'd always be sort of, you know, having a go at him, moaning at him, sort of pushing him about and that. So my dad and his mate, right, they went round to their house, knocked on the door, she answered, and he said he was a copper, right? He said, you know, Detective Pilkington, gonna come in and have a word.
So I'm just going to make a note of impersonating a police officer.
For the good, he went in and sort of said, "Now I've heard,
It's a superhero.
Yeah.
I've heard, you know, you picking on your husband a lot.
Yeah.
We'll be keeping an eye on you. Do it again, and there'll be trouble." And she backed off after that. She
That's
was
good.
alright.
And how was the husband? Was he still in the basket though? Was he allowed to ever sort of like ride up front with her? Or was he just always in the
No,
basket?
he just she'd sort of stopped picking on him in public places and stuff.
That's
like that.
good.
Just
You
did it
can't,
behind
you
your
can't
door.
get done, can you, just for doing that?
I think impersonating a police officer
Well,
is
you
a criminal
probably did.
offence.
There was no gain. I think you can't impersonate a police officer full stop, but I think they'd probably be lenient on him that he was, you know. But let's face it, he's not going to be caught because why would anyone know about it? It's not like his son's going to say it on a radio station, is it? And stitch him right up.
Is this something you did generally? Kind of a little bit of, like, vigilante work?
Just whatever, him and his mate, just, you know, if they saw something going on, they go, "What can we do? What little scam can we do?" or whatever.
That's fantastic. That is brilliant. Right, okay,
we doing?
coming up, Knob News,
And monkey news.
and Monkey News, and the answers to Rockbusters. What a show.
I'm not sure of what I see. Don't for me.
Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. Now, I can't put my finger on it, but that doesn't sound like the original. And it's off a compilation. It sounded a bit fast. I think the vocal was slightly different. If anyone can, you know, put me out of misery, I think it might be in a session of the time or something.
Carl, here's a little New Year resolution for you, another one. Maybe when we ask you to get a song, get the original single version.
I could be
and
wrong,
not some
but-
obscure
but-
session.
Yeah, it does seem different, doesn't it?
Very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we just remember it wrongly. But anyway, that's XFM for you. 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. Karl Pilkington. Karl, you went to Lanzarote.
Yeah.
People said don't go to Lanzarote. They told you it was Lanzarote. They told you, were they right or
They
wrong?
were right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit ropey, yeah.
Is it why?
Just, out there. If it wasn't for the volcano they had, they'd be knackered.
That's their big draw, is it?
That's it, basically. That's all they've got going for them.
When you landed, was it really hot? Initially, were you quite excited? You were thinking this is
It
okay?
was warm. It's, you know, we can't complain about the weather. The weather was all right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what I went for. But it'd be nice if there just was something else.
Yeah.
What did you do all day then? Did you read your ritual book?
No, I didn't read that. I read that book. Do you know the book that I bought? And all the chapters were messed up.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a better version of that,
All right.
and I read that,
Excellent.
and then
Did it make more sense in order?
yeah, a lot easier to follow.
Yeah.
And then we went and had a look at the volcanoes and that. They've got 36 of them to look at.
How many did you look at before you realised that pretty much, you've seen one volcano, you've seen them all?
Probably about 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah.
And then when you got to the 8th, you thought, now I know what this is going to be, Suzanne. This is going to be like a mountain with a hole in the top.
Yeah.
Really?
But it happened years ago as well. It's like, just keep a couple, fill the rest in, tidy it up.
Fill the rest in!
Yeah, no,
Well,
yeah.
getting some builders.
No, seriously though.
Okay, 4 million tons of concrete, please.
They're an absolute death trap.
Yeah, what? Yeah. What do you mean, fill them in? Do you know what a volcano is?
Just a hole, isn't it? That's happened.
Well, it's more than the
happened back
hole. It's
in-
more a portal to the magma in the centre of the earth.
Back in 1730 it happened, and they still haven't sorted it out.
Well, when you say it happened, volcanoes were made a lot longer ago
no.
than 1730.
No, but the one that did Lanzarote in.
Right.
Sort it out.
What would you suggest? How
tidy
can they
up.
fill it in? It's joined. It's all joined.
No, but what I'm
and
saying is, it was
the
a-
big
it was-
plates of the earth are all joined.
It
All
was
the
a disaster,
magma's
wasn't it?
joined.
With the trade centre thing, that happened. They cleaned it up, sorted it out, they've moved on. That's what I'm saying. Whereas Lanzarote have just gone, leave it. It happened back in 1730.
You misunderstand me. How, in the name of God, can you fill in a volcano? You ignorant twit.
No, but it's not just the holes. They've actually left the lava everywhere. That's what I mean. It's not just the big holes. There's lava everywhere.
But it's molten rock. They can't just pick it up like they're like a carpet.
Put it in the holes. The holes are there ready. Just push it all in. That's what I'm saying.
What exactly is there then? Is it just a kind of moon-like kind of surround with just kind of dust and rock?
That's exactly. You see, I was there when the Mars thing went wrong.
Yeah.
I would have just sent a camera crew there, filmed a bit of that, right, and say, here we are. This is it. Ignore the little coffee shop in the background. Right? This is Mars, because that's where it's like just loads of dust,
Yeah.
holes everywhere. Tidy it up.
Little round-headed aliens complaining.
yeah.
It's
Whinging.
just like Mars.
Yeah.
So
So, is there what's the best bit about the holiday? Come on, pretend you're Judith Chalmers.
I have been doing. I would have done all that. I would have said that. Don't bother.
Well.
I mean, the hotel was good.
Yeah?
That was all right.
What was that like?
It's all right. Just clean. That's all you want, isn't it?
See, that's not quite what Judith Chalmers does. She doesn't go, what's the hotel like? All right, yeah, clean, innit? All right. But what was it like? Was it, what was it? 3-star, 4-star? Did it have a swimming pool? What was the
Yeah,
room like?
had a swimming pool and that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good. I think it was one of the better ones on the island.
Okay.
Nightlife? Clubs? Bars?
Wasn't really any. There was a bar. There was some bands playing.
Yeah.
Not very good. Food got a bit boring.
Yeah.
It was always the same food every night, but they sort of themed it and made out as if it was different. So, like, on Mexican night, it'd be chicken with a nacho on it,
Right.
Right.
and Chinese night, sort of chicken with a little prawn cracker on it and stuff.
Sure.
But that got a bit boring.
That's me just turning on my phone, because I want to read to you a text
Right.
that I got from Karl. I think you sort of sum up the holiday in this text, don't you? Do you remember
I
it?
can't remember.
Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Let's go
Instantly,
to
what did Suzanne, your girlfriend, make of it?
Uh,
Similar view to you? That they should fill in the holes?
Yeah, it's just that thing. You see, I went on a coach trip, right? And you go and see the volcanoes. Like I say, there's 36 of them.
Yeah.
Which, how many do you need? And when we're on the coach going round all these volcanoes, the fella on the front's going and look out your left window at the moment. And there's a volcano, and if you quickly look out of the right-hand side there's another one.
Right.
And on the left, it's just like, all right, we've seen it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk about that trip in a bit.
Right, this is the text I got from Karl, right? Alright. Been up to a volcano. Been in some dead artist's house who built his house in the lava. They said they would show me science with volcanoes, but all they did was chuck some water in a hole and it shot up in the air. No dwarves in the canteen, no scousers here, but there is a Swede woman with a big head. She looks effing gormless with a cap on. Alright? So a little reference there to...
A Swede woman?
What's that mean? Do you mean Swedish?
Yeah.
Or she looked like a vegetable?
A Swedish woman. But they've all got sort of quite big built, aren't they?
And I sent him a text. Oh well, it's just good to be on holiday because I'm working. He sent back. So am I. Just been watching Sky News. There is a school for monkeys who want to get a band together.
Is that monkey news for later?
Oh My Corazon by Tim Burgess. I can't get enough of that. I love that chorus. On XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant and little Karl Pilkington. But it was a nice holiday.
Yeah, it's alright. It's just, I went there to relax and that.
Exactly.
Did a little bit of that. Trying to think of some new, features and stuff.
Sure, always working. 3 holidays a year, Jesus.
Oh, well, not really 3, not 2.
It's all but
Two holidays, really.
one big sort of like work thing to
2.
me and Steve.
2 holidays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Work hard, you need the holidays. So, yeah, the things that annoyed me was like, you get bored sat around the pool after a couple of days. I'd read my book.
Yeah.
There wasn't much going on the...
Not even any
complex.
crabs to throw sand at, was
No
there?
crabs or anything. They wouldn't bother with Lanzarote, right? So, decided to go on a little trip. That's when I saw the volcanoes and that, 36 of them. So, we go on the trip, and the thing that annoys me, it does happen every holiday that you go on. If you go on a sort of a package thing, you have these trips, right? And you pay about 40-odd quid, and they give you some wine, to sort of make it feel like you're getting your money's worth. But,
How many of these trips have you been on then? Loads.
Probably about 12.
Phew, more holidays than I've had. Go on. Yeah,
So
go
anyway,
on.
so you're on the coach, right? And they take you for the volcanoes. They took us in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing else round there.
Sure.
It's like I say, it's like Mars, but with holes in the ground,
Yep.
right? And they sort of drop you off, and they go, right, everybody, see you back here in an hour. There's loads of volcanoes for you to look at, and a coffee shop over there. And you know for a fact, right, you don't need an hour there. You could just say, well, just keep the engine running, because I'll have a look in this hole, we'll get back on, give us 5 minutes. Don't need an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know that they've got something going
It's a
with the-
backhander, definitely.
What, with the coffee shop?
Definitely, yeah. They go there and they get everyone to have an ice cream and a coffee, and
Yeah.
they sit down and have a fag talking to the bloke. Yeah, and it's like cousin. Yeah.
Have you
How
ever-
much was the coffee? Was it
Probably
overpriced?
about 3 each euro, so I think it was 3.50,
Sure. Yeah.
which is I don't know what that's about 2.5 quid. And
Yeah, they stitched you up. Well, I remember we were on it was a family trip to France once. We went to Paris. We got a coach coming back from Paris to one of the ferries, one of the ports, Calais or wherever it was. Coach trip. It was quite a long coach trip. And at one point we were thinking, we're on the motorway. This is fine. We're making good progress. Suddenly we came off the motorway. We must have gone like 40 minutes out of our way. End up in this street completely empty, little French town. And it's pulled up outside this, what appears to be a restaurant, and a guy jumps on, dressed like a Butlins red coat. He's French, but he's putting on a kind of English accent. He goes, hello, oh, thank you very much, top of the morning, good morning, hello. Come in, we've got food, drink, go upstairs, we've got rooms if you want to have a rest, or play around. No, it's up to you. And we all had to funnel off this thing into this restaurant, and this one family went, well, we don't want to go in the restaurant. We brought sandwiches, we just want to get to the port, we're not interested. And they said, well, you've got to come in the restaurant. They went, we don't want to come in the restaurant. So the guy said, well, I'll have to lock you in the coach. So this family were locked in the coach while we all traipsed off in, and I could just look. But I looked back and just saw this little kid with his face pressed up against the glass. Take me with you. I want to go in the restaurant. They were just stuck in there. Look, I mean, absolutely livid, as you would be.
But
And,
that's definitely a backhander.
but we went inside, and it was extraordinary, because initially you had to pass through a souvenir shop to get into the restaurant.
Perfect.
And he'd obviously, it was catered entirely to English tourists. So there was like pictures of the Queen and Prince Charles on the wall. It was done out in a kind of mock Tudor style. It's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, it's just, it was so bizarre, because it was so out of the way. Did that come before the coach, sort of scam? Or did the coach guy, he knows it? Is it a brother of his? I don't know how those things come about. But
Yeah, is
that going on in this country?
Yeah,
with French
I'm sure
and
it
German
is.
tourists?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Is it?
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I'm sure people say, look, if you bring 30 people to this restaurant, I'll see you all right. But it wouldn't it? If you got your favourites, because you don't have to. The coach driver's pretty much God on those things, because those people don't know where they're going anyway.
Yeah, but at least here, there's other stuff around. You don't really get that in the middle of nowhere situation in this
Well,
country.
not really. Not if you're going from London to Manchester. You could stop off anywhere. They don't know where they are. There's places with nothing to do or see. It's that those attractions. There's loads of in America, but there's a few here, like Sheep World, and you go out to Gloucester and there's a town. It's got the biggest cotton reel in the world, and that's it. It's a tourist shop, a big cotton reel, and some bloke at the gate going, "It's a quid to see it." There it is. All right.
I went to I know it's quite a big. I went to a Shire horse centre once.
Yeah.
But when did Shire horses become so popular that they got their own theme parks?
Well, I think there's a museum for everything.
Yeah, possibly so.
I mean, I don't think you could think of something that didn't have a museum somewhere in Britain, because obviously museums start off sometimes by fans.
But did people keep coming around and going, "I hear you've got a Shire horse. I'd love to see it."
Yeah.
Well, I can't. People coming all the time to see my Shire
You should
horse.
get another one, because I'd pay double for
I
those
pay
two.
good money to see your Shire horse.
Yeah.
Shire horses.
I know.
Have you seen them? They don't do anything. They're not like monkeys.
No, they're
Just
not like
grand,
monkeys,
elegant
no.
creatures. But you look at them in a picture or look at them in real life, pretty much the same thing. They're not doing anything.
If they could train a Shire horse to swing on a rope and masturbate,
Exactly.
I'd pay double.
You pay good money.
I'd pay double for that.
Yeah.
There's a museum in Italy when we went there a couple of years back. Suzanne had like one of those little guide things. Museum there just for spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know what I
Was
mean?
it interesting spaghetti? Spaghetti in different shapes?
Don't know, didn't go. I went to see a big hole in the ground. Can't get enough of them. So,
Well, but out of 10 then, what would you give it out of 10? All in all,
That's a
food, location,
right.
relaxation, enjoyment.
Yeah, that's 6.
Okay, brilliant.
6, yeah.
Next week, where are you going next week? You're not on holiday next week?
Going
Cool.
away with Suzanne's mum and dad again. this year.
5 holidays.
Gonna ropes
Play a
into that.
record. You've got to put some work in, you're in your 30s now. You've got to knuckle down.